Jump.
Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and His grace. I can feel the brush of angel wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place. Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and His grace. I can feel the brush of angel wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place. Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and His grace. I can feel the rush of angel wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place.
Thank you, Temple Singers, for setting the tone with Surely God is in this place. Welcome, welcome to our beloved Temple of Light, centered in, wow, just the warmth and the beautiful flowers in Kingston, Jamaica. So as you allow your consciousness to just flow in with ours, we know that today is God's day, a day that we can truly rejoice in. Please join me in this opening affirmative prayer. We acknowledge that power, that presence that is indeed in this place and expressing itself right throughout this plane of existence. We acknowledge that God presence. It is right where we are. And as we acknowledge that presence from the very sanctuary of our hearts, we rejoice. We rejoice in its inspiration, its perfect ideas that flow seamlessly through our conscious awareness today. So I know that this morning's service is truly a divine event whose time is now. And I know for Reverend Sonia, as that presence moves in through as her expression this morning, she's a clear and open channel. And indeed, every word that is spoken, every prayer, every song reflects the glory of Almighty God. So I know for each one of us, as we become hearers and allow this word to simply take root in our conscious awareness, we express its life, its love, its light, its power, its peace, its beauty, and its joy. So as we allow that consciousness to fulfill its perfect expression in through us, each one is indeed a light bearer. And this light emanates from this temple, blessing our island Jamaica, and indeed the very world, a world that works for everyone. So in this moment together, we recognize God as the peace, the love, and the harmony that we are. I release my word to law and just know for each one of us this morning an uplifted and enlightening experience. This is the truth. I know that it is so, and so it is. And we go into a new phase of our development. We start again with our chants. You are the face of God. We go from that chant into a moment of silence, just allowing that presence and power to full itself as our perfect experience this morning. This spiritual kingdom, this inner world, is as real as the world we see, hear, taste, touch, and smell. If anything, more real. What we become aware of through the senses eventually changes and disappears. But this inner world, these spiritual glories that are revealed to us, these spiritual lights with whom we learn to tabernacle, they never disappear. This is the world the Master Jesus revealed. A kingdom which exists right here where we are, if we will but receive the Spirit of God within us. It is already established here on earth, only awaiting our recognition and realization. An excerpt from A Parenthesis in Eternity by Joel Goldsmith. We'll now have the lighting of the candle. I light this candle for all the youth in the world. Together, let us bless them all wherever they are. The blessing is on page 2. Together, we love you. We appreciate you. We salute the Christ in you. And we see you as shining lights unto your world. God is blessing you now. And so it is. And together, our mission song. Temple of light, the temple of light, the temple of light. We are a people with a vision, on the Spirit, on a mission, to touch, to heal, to bless, to prosper, to love and liberate anyone who comes into contact with us, anytime, night or day. The temple of light, the temple of light, the temple of light. We are a people with a vision, one with spirit on a mission, to touch, to heal, to bless, to prosper, to love and liberate anyone who comes into contact with us, anytime, night or day. Yeah. Oh, and in that exuberant mood, we'll have our praise song now, Lord of the Universe. And I think it's time our young people go up to the Sunday school. Have a wonderful day, guys. I know something is prepared for you. Lord of the universe, of all things great and small, seated in heaven and on earth, in the Lord of all, we magnify Our palms reflect the beginning of Holy Week, as expressed through our beloved Sean Blake, using the palm fronds donated by loving members of our community. Thank you, Sean, and our flower angels. Can we have a round of applause, please? Good. Let me welcome again our first-time guests worshiping with us on this first Sunday in April. Whether you're in the sanctuary or online, we welcome you to our hearts and to our beautiful temple. We trust you will come again and join in this consciousness with us when we celebrate life more abundant. We continue to live stream every Sunday at 9 a.m. and on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. The recording is also available later on YouTube. This week, I want you to remember various events. Together, the first one is Discovery. Reverends Michael Record and Reverend John Scott, our pastor, will facilitate another Discovery session reflecting on the application of our teaching to living effectively in today's world. This happens at 10:30 a.m., right after our morning service. The topic for discussion is, what would make this week holy for you? And there's a W before that, holy, which means it is tuned in to you. What would it be for you to have a holy week? Quiet moments in the garden. Join Reverend John in this refreshing session at 6 a.m. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. It is insightful. Turn over off the pillow at 6 and just awaken to something different, something special. Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Our spiritual enrichment service is on Tuesday at 6 p.m., and you can see it on Facebook and on the Zoom platform. This week, our presenter is practitioner Vance Gardner. The link is also sent from our mailing list, so please find time Tuesday evening to listen to Vance. He always has a pun on certain words. He's special that way. Prayer upon Hour of Communion is on Thursday evenings at 6 p.m., and it comes to you straight from our Zoom platform. The link is always sent out for you prior to 6 p.m. Please join us in this wonderful meditative hour that allows you to just let that consciousness of love stream forth to bless your world and the world around us. Classes continue Tuesdays at 7 p.m. on Zoom with Reverend Michael. Change your thinking, change your life. That Zoom link is also sent out on a Tuesday. On Thursdays at 11 a.m., join Reverend John for a face-to-face class titled Spiritual Principles and Practices. And also on Thursday evenings at 7 p.m., join Reverend Sonia and myself as we lead a class entitled Leave Your Nets, and it's also available on the Zoom platform. Contribution for all classes, it's $1,200 Jamaican dollars or $10 US for registered members, or $1,600 Jamaican dollars for non-members, and $12 US. Please don't say those sessions. That's when you get asked questions and find out what these principles mean to you and how you can use them. We continue to respond to all your requests for prayer. A practitioner is available to pray with you immediately following our service. Every Sunday. On duty this Sunday is practitioner Courtney Johnson, and the number to call him is 876-289-0907. 289-0907, right after church. And if you'd like to speak to a minister in the hours between 8 a.m. and 12 midnight, Monday to Fridays, that same number applies. 876-289-0907. Our heartiest sentiments to all those who continue to contribute to support our ministry, this ministry of light. So we're asking to just visit our donate page. It is at donate, D-O-N-A-T-E, templeoflightcsl.org. And it has all our banking details. As again, thank you for your generosity, both in treasure and in consciousness, and helping us to become that beacon of light that we are. Kindly join us now in the singing of our first hymn, Open My Eyes That I May See. The words are in your program if you're in the sanctuary, and on screen if you're joining us online. Please stand.
Is a sacred field embodying our spiritual community, from which the Christ peace, love, and joy emanate, to touch, to heal, to bless, to prosper, and to liberate anyone who comes into contact with it in any way. The light of the Christ illumines us, our center and our environment. Our spiritual community is filled with and surrounded by the presence of God and is growing from strength to strength. The power of God expands our consciousness of truth, guiding us ceaselessly along the paths of wisdom, spiritual growth, and unfoldment and attainment. And we are blessed, and to God be the honor and glory forever. And so it is.
Please sit. We are now ready for Reverend Sonia and the glimpses of truth that she has for us this morning. Help me welcome Reverend Sonia Davidson.
Good morning, everyone. I want to welcome everyone in the sanctuary and those on the World Wide Web, and those who are neither but are connecting with us this morning in consciousness, because we know God is everywhere, evenly and equally present. And I want to thank Reverend Ann for just setting the stage. She's always my partner for many years when we do classes, and it's always such a pleasure to have her beautiful consciousness with us. The message this morning is coming through me in response to my challenge, request to the indwelling spirit. What is spirit's highest idea of what needs to be said this morning? And so my topic is, the message lives on. This weekend, I was drawn irresistibly to the championship, the Jamaica Schools Athletic Championships, which was being streamed locally, but visited, I am told, by 123 news, what do you call them? News. Yeah, call it stations, right? And news entities, whatever you call them, all over the world, as far away as Saudi Arabia. And I had the pleasure also of hearing that there are 23 countries that have sent people to Jamaica. Scout? Yeah, 23 schools have received people from, 23 countries have sent people to Jamaica, children, to be taught here academically and to experience this wonderful athletic program that we have. 23 and growing. So when I did listen and watch, I know I was watching something very special, something that transcended what my eyes were seeing, but my heart was being warmed. It really was a feeling that I could not describe, and that's why I know it was transcendental. My emotions ranged the full spectrum. Some of it I could identify words: admiration, excitement, suspense, exhilaration, absolute delight. As I watched intently the participation, the intense participation of the young athletes. And they came in all sizes, shapes, and shades, but all had fit, light bodies, which, as a wellness coach, I was thrilled to see. But as an admirer of the beauty of the human body, I was even more thrilled to experience. But what gave me the most pleasure, however, was when I witnessed how committed each were to their individual performances. Each one was totally prepared. There was no doubt about it. So, what happened to me? I became so absorbed in what was happening. I was running every race. I was jumping over every hurdle. I was even doing high jumps, hop sticks, what they call triple jump, hop, step, and jump. I did them all, even the ones I didn't do in school. I did hurdling and I did running. But you know, in consciousness, you take on all of this and it lifts you too. I was attracted by the power of this experience. It was so rich, so wonderful. And during all of this, the transcendence took me to experience some touching moments where I could not avoid a tear or two. And I was quite pleased to hear that one of the announcers confessed that he was holding back a tear too. At least two young people, I think class 2 athletes, when they came up to the mic and they were being interviewed, when asked how they felt, they said, well, I am so happy because I could not let down my mother. She has done so much for me. And he said, fancy that, in the glory of your moment, you are thinking about those who loved you. And one other said, my coach, I have a special relationship with my coach. Love underlies everything, everything, everything. So when the tears come flowing, the tears are coming from deep within, a place of love. So all of these wonderful feats that we witness, like every significant accomplishment, requires practice, practice, and more practice. Life is a classroom, and we are always in training, all of us, whether we know it or not. We are practicing, and we know that we had better practice what we want to experience. And we do all the mental gymnastics we want, but we have to come back to that place where we affirm and speak truth until that practice becomes perfect, spontaneous, and automatic in our minds. So, what does athletics have to do with this Holy Week, which is known in Christendom? Yes, it is known as Holy Week. It represents the last week of the life of the historical personality we know as Jesus, who we have come to know and to love through biblical accounts, and most of us in this country through going to Sunday school and to church. He is, without doubt, in my mind, the most celebrated and publicized ever of the revered religious figures. But who is he really? As I recall what this legendary human was about to face, according to legend, perhaps with foreknowledge, I can't help but imagine how much preparation would have gone into getting him to his pinnacle experience. Jesus was not born, we are told, the way he left. He was practicing. Remember, I was missing from the narrations in the Bible for many years, from about 12 to 32 years. So he must have been practicing somewhere, either by himself or with some master teacher. Yes, even so it was with the Master Jesus. He was practicing. He would have spent many years of mastership for his glorious ministry, and we have been shown that he spent many days and hours of preparation leading up to that pinnacle experience, which led him to make that triumphant cry, "It is finished! It is finished!" I did it. I did it. So let me share the thinking of the science of mind as explained by Margaret R. Sturz and taken from an official Science of Mind the promotion flyer. So we know a little bit about what we think of Jesus. She says, and she's channeling our teaching, in all of Christianity, there's no more important a single figure than Jesus, the way, show, and inspiration from which the Christian religion has sprung. Gladly do we realize the divine nature in Jesus. For when we acknowledge the divine nature of Jesus, we acknowledge our own divinity as well. This divine nature, the Christ, means universal sonship, of which each is a member. Jesus made that clear in his own way. One of the most profound statements that resonates with me, I should have said unquote, this is my words now. One of the most profound statements that resonates with me is, whatever I do, you can do likewise, and even greater things can you do if you believe in me. If you believe and trust my teachings. That's how I see it. The life and teaching of Jesus is rich with numerous examples of his enormous presence and generous, empathic personality. His spiritual prowess as well, as shown in his miracles, and most of all, his teachings. It is meant to guide us to the spiritual power at our disposal. No wonder so many call on his name in the midst of difficulty and relying on his examples for successful living. Others in the midst of the turbulence of, often in the midst of the turbulence of the especially challenging times, we become so distracted that it seems difficult to think of God as God in us and as us, and to feel that connection. So some people even resort to just where we were before, calling on a God outside. And maybe even some have looked up for a God in an imaginary heaven. So this is why practice is important, because that programming which thinks of a God outside of ourselves and thinks of a God somewhere up there where we have to replay. I don't say erase, I say reprogram. It's times like this that we're going through now. At various periods in history, we have had similar periods, that populations rely on the hope and expectation that a Messiah will come to relieve it of perceived suffering and spirit us to a better world, or free us from suffering without our involvement. However, our own Bob Marley of Jamaica, quoting our national hero Marcus Garvey, cautions us to emancipate yourself from mental slavery, for none but ourselves can free your mind. Say that with me. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery, for none but yourselves can free your mind. The freedom we seek must come from within by individual effort. And the beautiful Joel Goldsmith, mystic, teacher, reverend, everything that inspires people, motivational speaker, whose book Reverend Ann and I are now teaching, Leave Your Nets, says, to me, the Messiah is that which frees us from ourselves, from a limited sense of self. We are never enslaved by anybody or any condition. Clearly, unquote, clearly he's reminding us that is our belief and expectations that either imprison or free us. It is useless to resort to vain pleas, for the answer lies within. Ernest Holmes, I love this, is your, and Reverend Emma love to say it too. That is our founding minister, and Dr. Ernest Holmes is the founder of religious science. He likes to say, the work is in and upon yourself. So the Christ is our nature. Christ, the Messiah, is at hand. The kingdom of heaven is neither low here nor low there. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. So said the one known as Jesus, who was called the Christ because he achieved Christhood. He himself did not make claims to be the Messiah. He reminded us that the Christ is our own nature, the nature of all people. Jesus is said to have lived at a time when his hometown was under Roman colonial rule, and turbulent times were in the world. Some of us like to think that this is the most turbulent of all. This is play compared to what it was like then. The conditions were perfect for the renewal of anticipation of a Messiah, a liberator, in the minds of those who were looking for a Messiah outside of themselves. In our time, yes, there has been renewed call for the liberating Messiah to come. And there are many predictions that Jesus soon come for his people and his kingdom, right? The term Messiah, remember, means different things to different people, and everyone is entitled to their meaning and their belief, because each belief is held on to, even for a time, because it warms and is empathic and lifts people. To some modern Jews, though, it means the Messianic age. I am assured that at no time in recent modern Jewish history, Judaism, are the Jews looking for a man. They are looking for an age which conforms to the nature of the God presence. So to many others, though, remember, looking patiently for the reappearance of Jesus. Some begging and pleading and cajoling for Jesus to hurry up and come and take your world, right? No. To us in youth or teaching, remember, and I'm going to punctuate this at intervals, so remember that the Christ in us, the presence of God, is the awareness of the Christ within us, is the Messiah. When we are aware of the Christ present within us and be present in us, that's the Messiah. The good news, God in man as man. So Jesus dispelled all notion of a separation between mankind and the Creator. He said, the Father and I are one, but the Father is the one. Of myself, I do nothing. It is the Father within that does the work. You want anything clearer than that? Clear. The kingdom of heaven, he said, is neither here or low there. Low here or low there. The kingdom of heaven is within man. If we can keep that as a chant, wherever we go, whenever our minds seem to stray, and let that be our focal point of how we live our life. The kingdom of heaven is within man. And he gave us a model. As if that was not enough, he gave us a model way to pray. Our Father, which art in heaven. Remember? Heaven. So the kingdom of heaven is within man. And who is in the kingdom? The Father. That Father, which is the Christ, the spark of godness, waiting to be recognized, waiting to grow and expand and to consume our consciousness, that we no longer speak of ourselves as God and man, or even God in man, but God as man. God and I are one. So the Father within, when he speaks of our Father, it occurs and means all people. All people. It occurs in all people. That holiness, the Father, the whole. All that there is already within us. Without exception, the completeness of the Creator is within us. All the attributes of the Creator being within us, the creation comes through us as well in our own individual lives. That which is within us is revealed in our outer experience in form to the extent that we realize it. And I must come back to the beautiful, great mystical teacher Joel Goldsmith, because he does not mince words. I love him. He says the Messiah, remember, means God with us, the presence of God, the Spirit of God, God in us. He continues, let us for a moment accept the fact that it is not a man, but that it is some kind of spiritual impulse, a presence, a power which appears or acts through man. That is the reason why the Christ cannot be separated from the man Jesus, the man Jesus, because they became one, because he did the work. He did the work in and upon himself, where that Christ became his established consciousness, that Christ awareness. So we think of Jesus, who became the Christ example. So, yes, we hear of Jesus, but many people would like to say, where is the evidence? And despite of every effort of curious academics and determined devotees who were, archaeologists, there has been found no credible physical evidence of the presence of God anywhere on earth. This lack of physical evidence has not in any way affected the 2.9 million Christians and others who claim him as the Messiah. Nor has it frustrated the historians and discouraged the archaeologists. Let me quote a distinguished archaeologist who is currently pursuing his quest to discover evidence. 28 years he's been at it, of a personality fitting the description of the biblical Jesus. His name is Mark Chancery, a religious studies professor at Southern Methodist University in the United States. He is a leading authority on Galilean history, and he explains this lack of findings in this way. He says, Jesus wasn't a political leader, so we don't have coins, and we don't have busts of his name. And even if he was a major political leader, the Judaism of that day forbid putting people's images on coins. He continues, he wasn't a sufficiently high-profile leader to leave behind inscriptions. In his own lifetime, he would have been a marginal figure, and he was active only in marginal circles. Yet Jesus appeared on the human landscape at a time when such a person was clearly needed. Someone once said, hidden in the gloomiest outlook is a spark of hope. Imagine this hope as a beam of light. Let it pierce the darkness and shine forth to reinforce your own beliefs. It will turn your hope to certainty and your certainty to unshakable faith. You see why it's fine for people to hold on to that faith until they come into a deeper understanding of the words behind Jesus' teaching. So what if the absence of physical evidence of Jesus having lived is exact, right? What if it is exactly the way the universal order required of the messenger? What if his followers would have even been more consumed with the person, that the most important message would take back seat? Remember the most important message. Jesus, when asked this, referred back to the Old Testament. He said, "Is it not written in your law? I have said, you are gods." Wow. However, at no time did Jesus forget the source of his power. Remember, the Father and I are one, but the Father is the one. Let us say together, the Father and I are one, but the Father is the one. And the assurance of a Creator, which has given of itself to us by giving through us, is the ultimate act of love. Giving to us, through us, with the freedom to do what we will with that power. The ultimate act of love. God is love. When we say God is love, it's not just God as daddy, affectionate. That too, if that's how it feels in us. But God giving of itself to the human race. Human race. Woman too, right? Giving of itself freely, unconditionally, that we may use the authority that lies within us to create for ourselves a life more abundant. Yes, it is the Father's good pleasure to give us the kingdom. So, Mr. Joel, again, Goldsmith, there is no way to separate the message from the messenger because they are one. The message, however, is always greater than the messenger. In time, he says every messenger disappears from visible sight, but the message remains and is carried on by others. If you understand this, you will never be confused or misled into worshiping a man or a woman. You know that the Christ can never disappear as long as there is an individual, meaning the Christ on earth to humanity, as long as there's an individual on earth through whom it may appear. Why not one of us? Why not allow ourselves to be that drop in that ocean of God consciousness which helps to lift the human race? As we are transformed by the renewing of our minds, we too lift others. Yes, Jesus the Master. Fear not, little flock, for it is the Father's good pleasure to give us the kingdom. May we flourish and grow and wax strong in the Spirit as a child Jesus did, and as we are all intended to do. May we receive all the blessings of enlightened minds, remembering the spark of divinity, the Christ within us, all waiting its full emergence, that we may indeed fulfill the promise attributed to Jesus the Christ. Whatever I do, you can do likewise, and even greater things can you do, if you believe me. Yes, if we believe. If we take another look at the message of Jesus, get a Bible which has Jesus's quotes in red, and read them and see how it resonates with what we teach in this church. See how it resonates with you. See how it helps us to take responsibility. So we know that Jesus, yes, did his part. And the man and personality Jesus did his bit. The message has survived, albeit not paid enough attention through thousands of years. And we, though few, who understand that in the message, God in man as man, is that which, when sung in the hearts of all people, or a critical mass, when accepted as it has been spoken by Jesus and other masters, but the beautiful thing is the publicity that has been given to Jesus' words, then we know we are well on the way to that age of enlightenment. We are on the way, but we'll give it a spiritual boost. So my sentiments, my hope, my gratitude, my joy are captured in the words of this hymn from our Signs of Mind hymnal. Jesus, may all men awaken and believe unto thee. May the truth be not forsaken, thou who lived to make men free. May we nourish to fruition the pure seeds that thou hast sown, and responsive to our mission, harvest love more fully grown. Thou hast shown the glory and the majesty of life, shown in parable and story. Love shall overcome all strife. May we more of truth be learning, and the Father's inward power, while we're thoughtfully discerning the potential of each hour. Now, friends, I would like us to take very much into our hearts that this man who lived and has captured the minds of so many people, a good more than 50% of the world have heard the word and accepted, heard the word of Jesus and accepted that this man probably lived. But there are many who have decided that the message is greater than the messenger. Yet, within the messenger is the consciousness which animates, vitalizes the message. So we pay homage to the messenger. What a way shower. What an example. Memories warm my heart, yes. But when I think of the words that have survived 2,000 years, they warm my heart and bring tears of gratitude to my eye. Yes, what a kumamiyai in the Jamaican parlance. What a kumamiyai, words of love for the personality, but more so, words of gratitude for the message. The message lives on. Namaste.
Thank you, Reverend Sonia. A very reflective message. The spark of godness lies in us. What a beautiful example, because all of us have come to terms with that message through Reverend Sonia, and we thank more than anything else Jesus, the way shower, who gave to us that sterling example of how to live. This goes on with us. The spark of godness lies in us, friends. Please remember that. Thank you, Reverend Sonia. And our musical item are indeed the words of Reverend Sonia. And the collaboration to refine some aspects of it comes through Angela and Dr. Lilith. So we'll sing it for you. So I'll ask my other partner, Carol, to help me with this musical item which came through Reverend Sonia. Carol can't sing, you know, so come.
When me think about the man named Jesus, what a come a me eye. Every time me think about Jesus, what a come a me eye. Come here, Jesus, come here, sir. Take the tear from me eye. Come here, Jesus, come here, sir. Take the tear from me eye. Them say you say we love one another. That a way them did say. How come say we still a wonder? Seem like say we forget. Come here, Jesus, come here, sir. Tell me when you did say. Come here, Jesus, come here, sir. Make me hear what you say. You say God in everybody, Master God in me. You say you and the Father is one, and the same is true about you. Come here, Jesus, come here, sir. Make me hear what you say. Come here, Jesus, come here, sir. Make me hear what you say. Me waffy know waffy tell me says no when the love in out there. And me try put blame on devil, but no devil, no there. Come here, Jesus, come here, sir. Make me hear it again. Come here, Jesus, come here, sir. Talk, you talk to all men. Long time no, you did tell me, say, feel love brother some more. And you tell me that heaven is here, so we have the key to the door. Come here, Jesus, come here, sir. Make me hear it some more. Come here, Jesus, come here, sir. Your word touch me to the core. So we make right here, so we feel love ourselves more. For is one thing we can be sure of. Love, we open the door. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, sir. Be glad to hear what you say. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, sir. Me know no bad man no day. Glory be to thee, O Father. Glory be to the Son. We can't stop from glorify you till all the work here is done. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, sir. Be glad me hear what you say. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, sir. Me now forget what you say.
Thank you, Carol. Thank you, Reverend Ann. And definitely Dr. Lilies. Thank you. That was a whole lot of work to learn that in a short time and to sing it so convincingly. Water did come on me eye. Thank you. Ah, friends, the beauty of love as demonstrated by Dr. Lilies, who is far away in the United States, and by these two, Canada? She's gone back to Canada. Guess what? Her stepfather is now 101 years old and just a wonderful, handsome, vigorous gentleman. But also the love, it took love for Carol and Reverend Ann to learn this and to share it for me this morning and to share it for us. Let us give them another applause. Thank you. So as we continue in this service, we have a prayer of Jamaica. Yes, oh yes, oh yes. And I loved where our prayer of our center came this morning. You notice there was a little difference. I liked it, preceded the talk. I really liked it. So please stand for our prayer of Jamaica. The radiant light of God's love is now flowing through us and from us to everything and everyone it touches. The eternal light of God's love now completely fills, covers, and surrounds our island Jamaica. The glowing intensity of the light of God's love now interpenetrates and awakens within the hearts and minds of our countrymen and women the truths of life which set free. The light of God's love is growing and glowing in intensity in the hearts and minds of mankind everywhere. Love, health, harmony, goodwill, peace, uprightness, integrity, joy, prosperity, kindness, and a oneness under God are now established. And so it is. I so love this prayer. There are times when just during the day, I will read it. And, sometimes I actually post it on my social media. If any of you care to do that, please do that. Our second and final hymn is A Golden Dawn is Breaking, and it's on you'll be seeing it if you're on the internet, and it's on page 3 in our flyer here. Clasp your love offerings, and we will bless it. And when you're on the internet, just put your hands over your hearts. And as you're giving up your substance, you're giving up your service and your consciousness. We know you're blessed. So we know that lovingly I give, joyfully I receive, without fruitful increase and multiply. Bless, prosper, and enrich everyone whom you touch, and replenish all of my financial affairs. So be it,
Thank you, Father.
and so it is. And as we have given, so we have received. And we have opened out the flow of God's infinite abundance to flow through us magnificently as every deep desire, everything we require for ease or comfort to fulfill our obligations, to give and to share, and to live the life more abundantly. Yes, we are grateful, and everyone is blessed everywhere with a consciousness of God's abundance. I give thanks that it is so, and so it is. Yes, yes, yes. And we will just know as we leave that that holy presence that came here through each one of us individually and allowed us to experience its collective consciousness is that which goes away as our individual physical lives, but continues to connect us with each other in that transcendental space wherein we experience the peace, the love, the joy, the beauty, and the levity of God's presence, being magnified as being one body. Yes, one body, the body of the human race, the body of all creation. We give thanks for this moment. We give thanks for all that the Father is doing through us, the Father within, in the kingdom, appearing in the earth of our experiences. Thank you, God, that it is so, and so it is. And yes, there is love.
Love.
Yes, yes, there is love on earth. Light? You want light? Yes, there is light. Light. Yes, there is light.
Yes, there is light on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is light on earth, the light that was meant to be. With God as our Father, family all are we. Yes, we walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, then begins with me. Yes, this is the moment now. With every step I take, yes, this is my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in light eternally. Yes, there is light on earth, and yes, it begins with me.
Remember, tomorrow morning, Wednesday morning, and Friday, Reverend John. Remember, Tuesday, you will be hearing from Jennifer. No, you will be hearing from Vance Gardner. And all, just check our Facebook page and our webpage for all the wonderful, other glorious happenings of our church. And next week, Sunday, same time, same place, come with your
Easter
beautiful
Sunday.
consciousness. Oh, Good Friday! Very special, 11 o'clock always. We always do our Good Friday service at 11. So remember to tune in, those of you online, and also to be present in the sanctuary for those of you who will be coming for our Good Friday service, 11, and Reverend Ann Shand will do the honors of facilitating the service along with some of our new practitioners. Please be here. Bless you.